Good morning, everybody. It's Meg from Books Off the Beaten Path, and I am here this morning to give you a 3-book early morning book review. That's right. Uno, dos, tres, un, deux, trois. So, let's get into it, shall we? Okay, the first two books that I want to review are books of poetry. Put them up here. And these are from everybody's friend on the internet, A Poet Reads to Write, Phillip. And he sent me these and inscribed them, which was very sweet. I don't want to read what he read because it was kind of what he wrote, because it was kind of personal to me and I want to keep it personal. But anyway, I read them in the wrong order. I read them. Actually, Fume was written first, and it is very much about Australia and that culture and everything like that. And there is a neat glossary in the back to help you with the words, which I really loved. And there's one in here, it's one of the earlier ones, where he's talking about and I won't be able to find it, so I'm not going to waste your time with my trying to find it, but he's talking about nighttime in Australia and hearing the tree frogs and everything like that, and I just loved it. It was wonderful. Oh God, I should have marked it. Anyway, Philip, don't kill me, but I don't remember which one this was. But anyway, so this was very good. It was very much about Australia, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. It was very wonderful. Now, moving on to Cactus. Cactus was one tough read. It was a lot about his mental health, and it was a lot about him struggling for his sanity and that fight that many of us have been through. I have been through it myself, and it was tearful and heartfelt. And as I was reading it, I really felt his pain. He really did a good job of being able to interpret what that feels like when you're having a mental breakdown. And I'll be honest with you, it doesn't feel good. But it was so stunningly sad at times. I just couldn't get over how someone could. That's the thing with poetry. I've always wanted to be able to write poetry, is to be able to tell a whole story in just a few lines by putting the words in the correct order. And he did this very well, but it was a tough read. I'd have to say it's not one of my favorites because it's just so heart-wrenching. But would I recommend it? Yes, I would recommend it wholeheartedly. It was dark, and it talks about some triggering things in there. I don't know, it was just really, really good. Really, really good. And then, to completely switch gears, I read The Three Investigators, The Secret of Phantom Lake. Now, I got this when I was thrifting with my friend Diane, and it says Alfred Hitchcock right there, and The Three Investigators in The Secret of Phantom Lake. So this was written by William Arden, who I've never heard of, and it was written in 1973. And it really gave a great depiction of life in 1973, because I was a 70s and 80s kid. I grew up in the 70s and 80s when you just kind of went around on your bikes and nobody knew where you were. So let me set this up for you. The three investigators, Jupiter, and I'm not sure which one Jupiter is supposed to be in this picture, but Jupiter's grandparents own like a junk shop, and so they're going to buy some stuff from this shop, and they live in California, and they're going to buy some stuff from the shop, and this guy comes in and he wants to buy this sea chest. And he gets really mad when it's already been sold to Jupiter's family, and Jupiter's family has decided not to sell it to him because he's such an ass. And it turns out that it all has to do with a hidden treasure and a pirate treasure and a secret diary and codes in the diary and everything like that. And it's just a lot of fun. Now, there are no, and I don't know if this is going to get me kicked off YouTube or not, but there's no thought of pedophilia in here at all, because these kids will get in the car with anybody. I mean, this guy drives up and he's like, and their parents are right there, and the grandparents and everything like that, and the guy drives up and he's like, hi, I'm a professor from the college, throw your bikes in the back and I'll take you to where I think the treasure is. And they're like, let's go. What? We would never think of doing that nowadays, but we would never think of riding our bikes after dark, and nowadays we wouldn't. But back in the day, we would ride our bikes after dark and maybe crawl over a fence to see a spooky old house and everything like that. We would do that. But it was great. And then at the very end, in order to kind of tie everything they have done together, they have this congratulations from Alfred Hitchcock, where they meet with Alfred Hitchcock and they tell Alfred Hitchcock everything that they did as far as the mystery and how they solved it and stuff like that. And I thought, well, what a courtesy from this world famous director that he would take the time out to, meet with these kids. So good for Alfred Hitchcock. And that's another difference too, because would kids today even think in a children's book a meeting with, say, Steven Spielberg or George Lucas? Would they know who that is? Some of them would, I guess. Some of them would. But I gave this 4 stars for what it was. It was a great depiction of a children's life in 1973, and it was exciting and fun. And I loved how they had the kids using historical records. They knew how to go, I don't know if kids today would even have a clue how to look up something that happened in 1872, but these kids did. And, it wasn't that surprising when you knew the kids. They were smart kids. Anyway, so those are my early morning book reviews for this morning. Leave me a comment. I've gotten some comments on some stories that I've written. If you haven't listened to my little fake audiobook on my stories, please go ahead and do, because I'm getting a lot of really good feedback and I want some more. I want some really good I want some feedback. Even if it's not really good, I still want some feedback because I want to know which story I should focus on. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Leave me a comment. Thank you so much to all my subscribers for hanging in there with me, and I will check you later.